This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
The Halloween Podcast presents The Long Way Home. Some roads lead home, others lead somewhere else entirely. In this standalone audio tale, we follow two strangers on a fog-covered stretch of highway. Tom, a quiet man driving an old Chevy Nova, and Emily, a young woman hitching a ride in the dead of night. But as the miles roll on, something begins to feel off. The world around them warps. The conversation grows uneasy. Familiar places seem frozen in time, and both of them begin to suspect the truth. They aren't just passing through the fog. They're trapped in it. This is a story about memory, fear, and the ghosts we don't always know we are. This is The Long Way Home. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Pickup. Tom didn't know why he drove that road so often. County Line Road was long, cracked, and forgotten, cutting through rotted farmland and half-swallowed woods. The kind of place that seemed like it had been left out of time. He wasn't headed anywhere. He never was. He just drove. Like something deep inside him was pulling him back. The fog was thick that night. It crawled over the asphalt like spilled milk, twisting between the trees and coiling up from the ditches. His headlights barely cut through it, revealing only what was directly ahead, yards of road at a time, like a dream that never showed you the whole picture. Up ahead, something moved. He eased off the gas. A shape emerged from the mist, pale and still. A girl, standing near the shoulder, drenched in rain. She wore a white dress under a faded leather jacket, water dripping from the ends of her hair. She didn't wave or shout, just stood there, one arm out, thumb raised like she'd been doing it for hours. Tom rolled to a stop without even thinking. The tires crunched gravel and glass. He looked down and saw shattered fragments along the shoulder, like someone had swept up an accident and forgot the rest. The girl stepped forward slowly, and for a split second, maybe less, he swore she wasn't casting a shadow in the headlights.
"You all right?"
he asked, through the rolled-down window. Her voice was soft, like it was being pulled from somewhere far away.
"Do you think you could give me a ride?"
Tom nodded.
"Yeah, sure. Get in."
She climbed in without another word, settling into the seat like she'd done it hundreds of times before. Her clothes soaked the old fabric, But she didn't flinch at the cold or shiver from the wet. She just folded her hands neatly in her lap. He pulled away from the shoulder and continued down the road. The fog swallowed the car as soon as they moved, and behind them, the world vanished.
Not many folks out here this time of night.
He said, breaking the silence.
Yeah,
She murmured.
it's been a long time since anyone stopped.
That answer stuck in his ears, turning over and over. Something about the way she said it felt off. Not like she was tired of waiting, more like she'd been forgotten. He glanced at her again, quickly. She looked normal. Pale, sure, but anyone would be in this weather. Still, something about her made the back of his neck itch.
You live out by Mill Creek?
I used to.
She said.
It's been a while.
The way she spoke, it was like she was remembering something that wasn't hers. Tom didn't respond. The heater kicked on, wheezing through the vents with a dusty breath. The air smelled faintly of damp upholstery, rusted metal, and something else. Something sour and old, like a wet basement that hadn't been opened in decades. The static on the radio pulsed softly, then hiccuped. For a moment, a voice crackled through, warped and slow, whispering words Tom couldn't understand. Then silence.
Does your radio always do that?
She asked, not looking at him.
Doesn't work.
He muttered.
Hasn't in years.
Her fingers traced something on the window, drawing little circles in the condensation.
This car, it feels old.
It is.
No, I mean, it feels like it's stuck, like it doesn't want to go anywhere.
He didn't know what to say to that. She wasn't wrong. As they passed through a clearing, the fog thinned just enough to reveal the silhouettes of buildings. Abandoned houses half swallowed by trees, leaning like crooked teeth. One still had a swing set out front, but the chains hung empty. One of them twisting slow in the wind, even though the air was still. Emily stared at it as they passed.
That wasn't boarded up before.
She whispered. Tom blinked.
What?
She turned back to the window.
Nothing.
Silence again. The road felt like it was unraveling beneath them. The trees pressed closer. The headlights caught things that disappeared when you looked at them head on. Shapes in the brush, faces in the windows. Probably just tricks of the fog.
You ever feel like you've been somewhere before but you don't remember it?
She asked quietly.
All the time.
Tom said, barely above a whisper. She stared out the windshield, her breath fogging the glass.
Sometimes I think I'm dreaming, or maybe someone else's dream.
The car creaked as it rolled over a pothole. The fog swallowed the world again. Then, finally, up ahead, a crooked wooden sign leaned out from the trees, barely legible under layers of mold and moss. Mill Creek Road. She pointed without speaking. Tom turned, and neither of them noticed the faint handprint fading from the outside of the rear window. The car crept onto Mill Creek Road, the tires groaning as they rolled over warped pavement. Trees leaned in from both sides, their limbs twisted and bare, like they'd been frozen mid-reach. The fog was heavier here, thicker, like soup. The beams from the headlights didn't bounce back anymore. They just died in the mist. Tom kept one hand tight on the wheel. The other hovered near the old radio knob, like he was considering turning it off, even though there was nothing but static. He didn't. Not yet. The road narrowed. Weeds poked up through cracks in the concrete. On either side, rusted-out fence posts stood crookedly in the brush, some of them barely visible beneath vines. There were no mailboxes, no lights, no signs that anyone had lived here in years. But Emily sat up straighter in her seat, like she recognized every bend in the road.
There used to be a gas station here.
She said suddenly, pointing toward a dark space in the trees.
Right there. Dad would stop to get me candy after church.
Tom looked, but there was nothing but a slab of broken concrete and a bent signpost with no sign.
Hasn't been anything there for a long time.
She didn't respond. Her breath had fogged the window, but she hadn't cleared it. She just kept staring out.
Are you sure someone's still living at that house?
Tom asked. Emily nodded.
My mom. She never left.
He glanced at her again.
She ever mentioned this road being this empty?
She doesn't like to talk about this place. Not since
She stopped herself.
the accident.
Tom felt the words hit him in the chest, sharp and wrong. He didn't know why, but they rang out like a bell.
What accident?
She hesitated.
A long time ago. 2 cars, both gone. Happened on County Line, just before the turn onto Mill Creek. No one made it.
Tom gripped the steering wheel tighter. He didn't say anything, didn't need to. The air was already shifting.
Were you there?
She asked, her voice low now. Careful. Tom stared forward.
I don't remember.
Another beat of silence. Emily's eyes narrowed just a little, but she still didn't look at him.
I don't think I do either.
They passed a long stretch of road where the trees cleared on one side. An old field lay beyond the ditch, overgrown and drowned in fog. At the edge of it, something stood tall and blackened. A burnt-out shell of a house, just the chimney and some of the walls still standing. Emily didn't seem to notice. Tom did. His eyes lingered on it in the mirror. And just before the fog rolled in again, he saw a figure in one of the windows. Watching. Still. Emily finally shifted in her seat.
It's not much further now.
Tom gave a small nod, though his throat had gone dry. The air in the car felt heavier now, like they were sinking, like the road itself had started pulling them down. They didn't speak again for the rest of the ride. Up ahead, through the mist, a faint light flickered on the porch of a crumbling farmhouse. Emily reached for the door handle. Tom pulled the car to a stop, headlights shining against the rotted siding and peeling white paint. The mailbox hung off its post like a broken limb. The curtains in the window were yellowed, moth-eaten. She turned to him.
Thanks for the ride.
She said softly.
You're the first person to stop in a long time.
Before he could say anything back, she opened the door and stepped out. She walked slowly toward the porch, feet crunching on gravel and wet leaves. Tom stayed in the car, one hand on the gear shift, unsure if he should leave. His eyes drifted to the mailbox again, where a paper had been crammed into the slot. He squinted. The headline was faded, but still visible. Fatal collision kills 2 on County Line Road. A chill ran through him. He turned to look for Emily, but she was gone.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers comprehensive auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus, benefits like 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim, through the repair process, to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Visit EnduranceWarranty.com for your fast free quote today. That's EnduranceWarranty.com.
Chapter 2. The Ride. The house was gone. That was the first thing Tom noticed when he looked back. 1 second, Emily had been walking toward the porch. The next, the house was just gone, like fog had swallowed it whole, or like it had never been there to begin with. He sat frozen behind the wheel, the engine idling low. His fingers twitched, hovering near the keys. He didn't remember starting the car again, but the Nova was rolling, slowly, without effort, gliding down the road as if it had a mind of its own. Then she was there, back in the passenger seat, soaking wet, eyes wide, but calm, too calm.
I forgot something.
She said quietly, though she wasn't holding anything. Tom didn't answer. His hands clenched the wheel, knuckles pale. He didn't remember unlocking the door. He didn't remember stopping.
You ever feel like you're stuck in a loop?
She asked, brushing damp hair behind her ear.
Like everything's just repeating?
Tom licked his lips. His mouth was dry.
You mean like déjà vu?
She shook her head slowly.
No, not déjà vu. That just feels familiar. This feels wrong, like the world's playing out a scene over and over, and we're the only ones in it.
The car rolled forward. Outside, the fog had thickened. Trees bent at unnatural angles, branches curling toward the road like skeletal arms. The pavement beneath them was cracked and broken in long, jagged lines, like veins across dead skin. The forest was darker now, heavier. There were no stars in the sky, no moon, just an endless black ceiling. Tom reached for the radio, flicked it off, but the static didn't stop. Emily watched him.
Why'd you stop for me?
He hesitated.
I don't know. Habit, maybe.
Have we met before?
Tom didn't answer.
I think we have.
She said, more to herself than to him.
You feel familiar, like I've seen you just before I wake up.
Her voice trembled on that last part. She was trying to stay calm, but he could hear it. Something was cracking underneath. She turned her gaze back to the window. Her breath fogged the glass, but she didn't wipe it away.
Earlier,
She whispered.
when I got out of the car, there was a paper in the mailbox. I didn't read it, but I saw something written on the headline.
Tom glanced sideways at her.
It had my name on it,
She said.
I think.
He opened his mouth but didn't know what to say. He hadn't told her he saw the paper too. That it had his name, his photo, his car, that wreck. His stomach twisted. The image flashed in his mind now like a forgotten memory bubbling up from the dark. A highway, twisted metal, blood on the windshield, sirens, screams, but none of it felt solid, like remembering a dream hours after waking. They drove in silence for a while, the sound of the engine a dull hum beneath the growing pressure in the cabin. It felt like the air was getting thicker with every mile. Emily's hands trembled.
I keep seeing this road.
She said suddenly.
When I close my eyes, when I sleep, even when I don't. Always this road, always raining, always cold.
Tom's jaw clenched.
I think I'm lost.
She whispered.
Not just out here. I mean, lost.
Tom didn't say anything. He knew exactly what she meant. And yet, a small part of him kept pushing back, kept saying, this isn't possible. I'm just tired. I'm just dreaming. He didn't feel like a ghost. Neither did she. But something was wrong. The car crested a small hill, and on the other side, they saw lights. Gas station lights, flickering through the fog like candles struggling to stay lit. Tom blinked.
That wasn't there before.
I remember this place.
Emily said, sitting up straighter.
It used to be called Miller's. My dad would fill up here. I haven't thought about it in years.
They pulled into the lot. The building looked old. Boards on the windows, roof sagging, the sign above the awning mostly rusted away, but the lights inside flickered just enough to say come in. Tom stepped out first. Gravel crunched under his boots. It smelled like wet leaves and oil. He walked toward the door, then paused. The inside of the store was completely empty. No shelves, no coolers, just bare concrete and peeling walls. Emily stood behind him now, just inside the doorway, staring into the emptiness.
I used to come here for candy,
She said.
The guy at the counter always gave me a piece for free. Taffy, mostly. I didn't like it, but I never told him.
She walked slowly toward where the counter used to be. Tom stayed near the door, watching her. And then she stopped.
What is it?
He asked.
There's something here.
She said.
I can't see it, but I feel it. Like a part of me never left.
Tom took a step back toward the exit. Emily turned around. Her face had gone pale, drained of color.
I think I died here,
She said softly.
or near here. I remember headlights, screeching. I was running, I think. Someone was yelling my name.
Tom's heart pounded. A pressure had built behind his eyes, and a memory clawed its way forward, unstoppable now. He remembered taking the curve too fast. He remembered seeing a flash of white on the side of the road. He remembered the scream. It wasn't her yelling, it was him. They both stared at each other, eyes wide, afraid, not of each other, but of what the other might confirm. Emily took a shaky breath.
What if we're not supposed to be here?
Tom opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Tom took a step back. Not from her, but from the weight of it all. From the memories that were no longer whispers, but full-blown screams clawing at the walls of his mind. His throat was tight.
You said you were heading home.
Emily nodded slowly.
I thought I was.
Outside, the fog pressed against the windows like a living thing. The flickering lights above them buzzed faintly, dimming in slow pulses, like something was draining them with every breath the two of them took.
You ever think maybe this whole thing is stuck?
She asked.
Like we're on a loop we can't break?
Tom didn't answer, not with words. He looked out at the road they came from. No tire tracks, no signs of life. Even the gas station itself was beginning to change. Boards on the windows looked older than they had minutes ago. Dust thickened across the counter that hadn't been there when they stepped in. Emily turned to face him.
What's the last thing you remember before tonight?
Tom opened his mouth. The headlights, the wet road, the woman in white stepping out of the fog. He remembered grabbing the wheel, swerving hard to avoid her. And then, the flash, the sound of twisting metal. Then nothing. Until now. He didn't answer her. Didn't need to. She nodded like she already knew.
I think I've been out there for a long time.
She said, her voice thin and fragile now.
I think people see me but they don't really stop. They look, but they don't see. You did.
Tom's voice cracked.
I didn't know.
I don't think either of us did.
She took a slow step toward the door. The station lights buzzed and flickered one final time, and then went dark. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then Tom turned toward the car. The Nova was still idling, its headlights casting a sickly yellow glow into the fog. The driver's side door was hanging open. He didn't remember leaving it that way. He slid into the seat, and Emily followed. Neither spoke as the car rolled forward again, as if something unseen had given it a gentle push down the road. Outside the windows, the world looked even less real now. Blurred, soft around the edges, like they were driving through an old photograph that had been left out in the sun too long. Emily stared at the dashboard. Her reflection barely moved in the glass.
I used to be so scared of dying.
She said softly.
Now I think I'm scared I already did.
Tom's hands tightened on the wheel. The road stretched endlessly ahead, and deep down, both of them knew they weren't going home, they were heading back. Again.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust. Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers comprehensive auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus, benefits like 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim through the repair process to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Visit endurancewarranty.com for your fast free quote today. That's endurancewarranty.com.
Chapter 3. The Destination. The road narrowed and the fog began to thin, just enough for Tom to see the silhouette of something familiar. An old house at the end of a long gravel drive, its porch sagging, its paint nearly stripped away by years of rain and wind. Emily sat upright, hands pressed against the glass.
That's it,
She whispered,
that's my house.
but Tom didn't slow down. He knew this part. He knew how it played out. Because he'd been here before, so had she. The tires crunched across the drive, the car groaning as it came to a slow stop in front of the porch. A single light flickered on above the door, casting a dull orange glow across the wooden steps. Tom turned off the engine. Silence. Emily reached for the handle but paused, her eyes locked on the porch, on the door, on the faint outline of the house beyond.
This doesn't feel like home anymore.
She said. Tom didn't speak. She looked at him.
What if we're not supposed to go inside?
He looked back toward the road.
Then where do we go?
Neither of them had an answer. Emily stepped out anyway. Tom followed. The air was thick, heavier than it should have been, like stepping into a space that hadn't been touched by the living in a very, very long time. The house creaked even though the wind had died. The porch groaned under their weight. Then Emily froze. There was a newspaper wedged in the doorframe, damp, yellowed, almost crumbling. Tom pulled it free without thinking, but his hand shook as he read the headline. Fatal collision kills 2 on County Line Road. Below it were 2 photographs, his and hers. Same date, same accident, same time. The moment hung between them, cold and unblinking. Emily stepped back, one hand pressed against her mouth.
I didn't see it. I didn't want to see it.
Tom turned, staring at the gravel driveway. The memory returned in full now. Him speeding down County Line after too many drinks, the radio blasting static, the rain blurring the road, and then a flash of white on the side, a scream, metal tearing, then nothing, until her. He looked back at Emily, and for the first time she looked afraid of him, like maybe she'd known all along. Maybe they both had. But denial is a warm blanket when the cold starts creeping in. A wind kicked up suddenly, sharp and unnatural, and the porch light above them buzzed once, before flickering out completely. The house went black. They didn't speak, they didn't move, because they didn't need to. They'd been here before. They'd always been here, and then, just like that, Tom was behind the wheel again, driving, fog rolling thick across the cracked road, the radio whispering static, his hands steady on the wheel, his foot gently pressing the gas. No memory of stopping, no memory of turning around. Just the hum of the tires, just the road ahead. And then there she was, standing on the shoulder, white dress, leather jacket, thumb out, just like always. Tom slowed the car. She looked at him and smiled. Thank you for listening to the Halloween Podcast Presents. If you're enjoying these tales of fright, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. If you have any questions, comments, or want to suggest a story idea, send us an email at thehalloweenpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the show, head on over to our website, thehalloweenpodcast.com, and pick up some podcast merch. You can also download the entire audiobook now, as well as all our other stories. Join us again next week as we continue our tales. Until next time, this is Lyle Perez saying, have a good night.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers comprehensive auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus, benefits like 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim through the repair process to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Visit endurancewarranty.com for your fast free quote today. That's endurancewarranty.com.